Welcome back. We're looking at the impending cost-reflective tariff that we are being educated about as inescapable, very, very soon. But before I continue, Ese has joined us. Good morning, Ese. Ese, can you hear us? Good morning. You're on.
Good morning. I can hear you.
Okay. Go right ahead, please.
My name is Ese. I'm calling from Okocha.
Okay. Welcome to the program.
On this matter of light, the Minister of Power is talking about subsidy that is not sustainable. I just don't understand. In the past, before we started adapting to pay distance and all of that, there have been issues of crazy bills. Even when paid meters were shared in the former estate I stayed, they said there was an outstanding bill on the flats we got, where I just got, and we had to pay. That was Jonathan Richard. We had to pay at least 70% of the outstanding debt before I started using the prepaid meter. I went to the management of the estate. They paid, I think it was 255 outstanding debts on the old meter. The estate management paid 290. I submitted tellers to the network office and everything. And we started using the prepaid meter. But up to date, because I was the one that received the meter to the flat, up to date, I still get text messages telling me that current bill 000 usage, outstanding bill 235,000. Meaning that was not that money that was paid was not accounted for. Now this goes to what the last caller just said. The last caller said the debts taken from people owing and all that, where does that go to? Also, the media person in the studio now talked about the countries we give light or we supply light or sell light to, giving as usual tariff for light. It's just, these whole things are about take from us. We're not seeing any practical development. It keeps getting worse.
Thank you very much for calling in, Eze. Appreciate your call. This is the frustration of a lot of Nigerians.
I need to make some. I need to make some clarification here because he said the media person. I am not speaking for the discourse. I worked as a former, HOD of Media and Communication in one of the discourse. I have left, so I am not holding brief for anyone.
But you have the experience that you can bring to bear.
Yes, because of the benefit of hindsight that one asked about the industry. And I was going to explain that when you are talking about subsidy, you look at some issues. One, the first is, can you afford it now? If you can afford it now, can you continue to afford it? But most importantly, too, you also look at, is it getting to the right target? And that is also another issue with the electricity subsidy. Because when you look at the amount that government is paying, it has been seen that, for example, Eko and Abuja that are deemed to have the two discos in Lagos and AEDC that are believed to have customers with at least a higher, buying power than you have in Yola. Government is paying for the 335 billion that government paid in the third quarter of the year. 117 billion went to those three. Whereas Yola, that is believed to have, much, more vulnerable people, got 2-point-something billion. So it then means that government is actually funding, subsidy for people that can afford.
Okay. It's an interesting point you make there. Yeah. But let me bring in Mr. Yakub in Dokwemu. Good morning to you, sir.
Yeah, just very good morning, sir.
Thank you for calling.
And good morning to your guys.
Yes.
Good morning. Sir. Good morning. Good morning, sir.
I think the government should look into these very particular electricity issues very well, because as Mr. George rightly said earlier, the minister that held this very particular portfolio, I stand to be corrected. I don't think he can handle that very particular sector. That is the truth. And then one of the callers also said, does it mean that there is a subsidy on this electricity before? This is a big question. And then I have reason saying that, Chief Judge, do you know that when there is no light, that is when you get much bills from the PHC? Because the issue is this, even the rural area, when they were trying to get in this very particular light, they will buy the poles, they will buy the cables, they will provide the transformer by themselves. Then the power holding company will not claim all those things to be theirs. Now they are not telling us that the subsidy on electricity is unsustainable. Subsidy on petroleum is gone. Subsidy on education is gone. Now subsidy on electricity is about to go. Where are we moving to? The question is, even the subsidy that was removed, yes, this is a government that we campaign for. Yes, and then I don't have regret in campaign for this government, because I believe that they are going to do the justice to all the things that they made on ground. And then we don't want to hear that the past government. That is not what we are here. So what I'm driving to is this, Chief Jolly. The subsidy that was removed in petroleum, the state government, as Mr. George Riley says, they get much more money, Chief Jolly, and then there is nothing to show for it. What are we talking about here? If they now say that they claim that they are removing this subsidy on electricity now, how much are we getting? They are giving to us. Somebody like me that they are giving me like 20,000 in a month. Now I should be expecting close to 100,000 naira in a month. Where are we going?
All right then.
Where are we going? So
thank you, Mr. Yakub. Thank you very much, Mr. Yakub. The point got, and he said he doesn't want to hear, and he's not the only person who will say that. Even some people in this government will say that, maybe I don't want to hear about past governments. We're now, and we must look at it. But it's a matter that pains many. Yesterday we had Senator Shehu Sani on here. We were talking about tensions as a result of the escalating cost of food, and he just made the observation that, look, imagine that we had 8 years experience of doing what the Tinubu administration is trying to do
Maybe
now.
we wouldn't have gotten here.
It wouldn't have been this tough. And so there's, whereas we understand that you can't be looking back all the time. No problem. Excuse me. We understand that. But a lot of momentum has been lost by not even being initiated in the first place. So now Tinubu's administration, to call it by name, has to establish this whole momentum business. And in that downtime, before the momentum is reached, we have this problem on our hands.
You see, my position, and I want to make it clear now, and I said it earlier. We should not just concentrate on the removal of subsidy alone. I mean, that is, I know that the Nigerians, they have justifiable grounds to want to resist any removal of subsidy, and I can see, reason with my compatriots on this. But the issue is that now, we have been saying that some of the steps, just like you just said, that the Tinubu administration is taking now, if we had taken them years back,
8 years back,
perhaps
the two terms of Buhari.
But now, if care is not taken, you understand, we will also be postponing some things, for the succeeding government to come and inherit. And then we will now be saying, if we had done this, before now. So this is
that kicking of the can down the road for the next guys to come and deal with. Is one thing that it looks like Tinubu's administration is saying that we're not going to do that.
I understand that. We're
not going to do that, even though it's going to become a problem.
It's going to be a problem, but government can handle it better. I mean, so on the side of Nigerians, I want to say that government can handle it better. You see, if you want to remove subsidy, what plan do you have to cushion the effects? We have seen that the removal of subsidy of petrol, you understand, is still, biting hard on the people. And so, yes, it is almost imperative, almost inevitable. You understand that? Because this petroleum subsidy...
No, it's not almost. The minister has said clearly, it's unsustainable.
And let me tell you one thing. Let me tell you one thing. Let me give you one more thing. You see, the subsidy, it's not as if government has its own money ready that it's using, to subsidize. What happens within the system presently is that government sources funds from different,
which is why it is unsustainable.
It gets, from IMF guarantees and loans, from its commitments, domiciled in the Ministry of Finance,
causes.
And I tell you, the budgetary allocation for subsidy, for electricity subsidy for this year is just a little over 400 billion. But by the time this year ends, and if we continue, we will have spent close to 2 trillion naira on electricity subsidy. Where will the difference, come from?
Izzy in Bayelsa. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you for holding on.
Good morning, Uncle Yari.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for holding on.
Today's topic is very interesting and is very critical to our nation's development.
Yeah.
It's so sad and very unfortunate that ministers who are expected to provide solutions to critical issues when appointed, who are supposed to be giving us solutions on how we can solve government problems, are now the ones crying foul and giving us alternatives that subsidy is no longer realistic. It's so sad. Just a couple of months ago, when the subsidy for petroleum was removed in a country where over 133 million Nigerians are battling with hunger, malnutrition, and poverty. And if you juxtapose that side by side with the billions of dollars that have been spent on this power sector in the last couple of years, Obasanjo regime, the Jonathan regime, and how these things were moved to the GenCos, and the GenCos themselves are not even invested. The power they are not invested critically into this sector. They inherited the facility of NEPA, and those facilities are what they've been using. The citizens bother to get transformers, citizens bother to do their own electrification. But moving closely, the minister should be able to be thinking about solutions. At this point, the National Assembly have moved, the president has passed it, that power should go down to the state for state government to generate electricity for their state. At this point now, we're thinking the minister should be calling critical stakeholders meetings with the commissioners for power in individual states to tinker on how they can generate electricity within the state. And that aside, look at the military situations. This is a country where over 85% of the citizens don't have meter. They operate with estimated billing. So why hasn't the minister thought of building or creating funds to build meter manufacturing factories in the geopolitical zones and in the state to enable the citizens to have meter, that they can be sure of what they are paying? Because when you talk about tariff, how do you quantify and measure the tariff when there's no measurement barometer for the consumers to be able to measure what they consume?
Thank you very much, Izzy.
Very unfortunate.
Thank you, Izzy, for calling in. Let's go back to the original point of George calling in from Lagos. Mr. Minister, show us your roadmap.
You see, that is just...
Show us your roadmap.
For me...
Let's know what your plan is.
You don't just identify a problem, you also provide solution. And I think that is what is lacking here. The minister has identified a problem which some of us, stakeholders and players in the industry can, reason with him. We can reason with him on that. That actually, subsidy is not sustainable. And I'm saying it with all sense of sincerity and patriotism.
But that's
you
not
understand?
the end of the job.
So, but saying it, where I differ from the minister's position is that you don't just say, there is, that it's not sustainable. Yes, we agree. What do we do? But let me also address one point that the last caller made. He was talking about the minister sort of ensuring that the state governments also, that they generate their own power. And yes, but it is not the act, the 2023 Electricity Act that has been signed into law has devolved, has decentralized, power of, the electricity power that was once domiciled at the federal government, in the hands of the federal government, to the states. That power has been devolved to the states. It is now left for the state government. It is not the minister, because it is not the minister that will go and force each state to come up with its own law, with its own electricity law, because that is what the 2023 Electricity Act says, that each state must go and enact its own electricity law. And as we speak now, I don't think we have up to 6 states that have enacted their own electricity law in the country. What are the state governments waiting for? The different state governments, what are they waiting for?
One second, please. Mr. Mazi Okoroafo in Arochukwu. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Sayori. Good morning, our guests. Good morning, Nigeria.
Good morning. Good morning.
Compliments of the lengthening system. Sayori, now our guests, you see, this issue of generation of electricity or power. Each state or Nigeria, if the government or the people concerned can make this issue of solar materials cheap, it will help us generate a lot of things we want to generate. Because the solar is, look at the wind we have in Nigeria. It's what they call energy generated through wind. Look at the other, look at the, see how hot Lagos is. But the question is, we don't want to start practicing that. There are some young boys who have talent, who knows material, but they are not given the opportunity. Now you ask ourselves, we have University of Technology, all the states of federation, electrical department, what is their job? You see, the practical work is what we need, because no matter what we teach, every time we generate, tomorrow they will tell us the system has collapsed. If the system is not collapsed, the system has incorporated. If the system is not incorporated, they tell us the no diesel, no gas. Why? Look at gas flaring. I was expecting some people to gather this. I think there are people that have this carbon dioxide to go there. All those flaring, put it into, if the thing cannot go around, within Port Harcourt, within the south zone now, or southeast, you can still generate all those gas flaring to people to use it. But every day, you know that, look at our agricultural industry, where the material is supposed to be, the sales is coming, is not coming. We have all it takes for the state, for the local government to generate their own power, not depending on federal, honestly. As a Nigerian, I'm tired of hearing people, all of us, depending on the federal. Let us go to university. These professors we have, doctors of engineering, electrical, please come into use. Do practical work. Let us generate our own energy, not the question of defending. Good morning.
Thank you very much for calling in. Good morning. Well, our guest, Mr. Ademola Adegoke, we introduced him, and he is a former head of media and communications at one of the distribution companies, Eco Electricity Distribution Company in particular. And I think one of the challenges here, everybody is calling in, we're proffering solution. I don't know if you agree that not enough has been done at all in terms of explaining what the nature of the problem is in a simple way so that everybody can grasp hold of it and see where the bottlenecks are. This is not a matter of eggheads and boffins and professors pontificating, because it concerns everybody. I think the central plank really is what Mr. George threw out there. Mr. Minister, where's your roadmap?
You see,
where's your roadmap so we know?
For me, the people in government should understand that they are no more Nigerian than we are. And they are no more patriotic than the rest of us are. So if there is a problem, Nigerians are ready to understand. They are ready to appreciate the level of the challenge.
Okay.
But no one appreciates any challenge, when explanation, when due explanation has not been given.
Exactly, sir. But I have just they're threatening me there that I don't have the time, but I'm gonna still try and squeeze in one more call. Sylvester in Agor. Good morning to you, sir. Quickly, please go ahead.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, TVC. It's so sad that Nigerians, we only talk about problems and we don't talk about solutions. The Minister of Electricity just said subsidy unsustainable. First of all, nobody knows about subsidy. I didn't know about subsidy in electricity or in power. There has never been a time that has been mentioned, but it seems that is the norm in Nigeria now. Subsidy this, subsidy that, subsidy this. But all of this is the problem. What is the solution?
All right, thank you very much. I did alert you. I did warn you that I was just trying to force it. I've got to cut in there because it goes back to what we're saying. People simply don't know. Look at what the Sylvester just said.
He never even knew that.
We don't know. He never knew.
Yes.
So this is where I think there must be a very concerted drive, and it happens in all aspects of the Nigerian body. You know, we don't know. The information specialists are not letting the public out there know what the issues are. So by the time you arrive with unsustainable tariff now, that is the one that they will now hear. Oh, you want to take the little in my pocket again that I was managing? Just in rounding off, where would you put all of this, and how long do you think it is so that before this thing comes on stream? Is it almost immediate?
No, well, the minister has not given any timeline about when subsidy will be. He just put the thought out there.
I think
he just put it out there
flew
for
that
us.
particular kite. We don't have much more time. But that's what has happened. That's what we heard, Mr.
So I will just say that the minister should, go back to his drawing table, come up with the roadmap, with the blueprint on how to, if subsidy is going to be removed, let us know, the level to which
we want to know what the issues are.
We want to be engaged.
Indeed.
Nigerians are ready for engagement, and they will listen.
Mr. Ademola Adegoke, thank you very much. Former head of media and communications.
Thanks for having me.
Our pleasure at Eco Electricity Distribution Company. And he did emphasize that I'm not working there anymore, but I do have experience, and we sort of talked about it. So that's our program today then. Do please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folari. Bye-bye for now.